First things first that I'm going to tell you is you have to be disciplined. Come closer. Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Funta here. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for clicking this video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back again. I appreciate you. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 tips for having a successful long distance relationship. Comment down below if you have been in a long distance relationship before. Did it work out? Did it not? If you're currently in a long distance relationship, also comment down below. So today I'm going to be talking about 5 tips for having a successful long distance relationship. If that's something that you're interested in watching, please keep on watching. Okay, so if you don't know, I was in a long distance relationship. I've been married since 2011. I was in a long distance relationship from 2009 till I got married in 2011. And from the beginning of our courtship or relationship, it was totally long distance because he was in Nigeria and I was here. So the first things first that I'm going to tell you is you have to be disciplined. Come closer. You have to be disciplined. The reason I say this is because long distance relationships require discipline on each person's part. You cannot be the clingy type, unfortunately. You can't just be one that is very needy. You have to be very disciplined on your own. Very disciplined because it's going to take a lot of emotional toil, commitment on several fronts. It's going to take, strength. It's going to require strength that you normally wouldn't have to project if you're in a relationship with someone that is close by you. So first things first is you have to be disciplined. And when I mean discipline, I mean that you have to get yourself busy. You have to have something doing. You can't just because you're in a long distance relationship forgo other things. For example, when I was in a long distance relationship, at the beginning of my relationship, I had just started my master's. In fact, I had just graduated from college in May 2009, and I was introduced to my husband in August 2009. So I was just fresh out of college, but I had enrolled for my master's program. So I was busy. I mean, I was living my life. I was having fun. I was, making friends. In fact, in my opinion, I don't even think that I explored enough, and that's okay. But first things first, be disciplined. Make sure that you have something that you're doing. Make sure that you have other things that occupy your time. I was very immersed in fellowship at the time. I remember that even then I had joined my singles fellowship in church. Just make sure that anything that you're doing, if you're going to have a successful long distance relationship, you have to be disciplined. Okay. All right. So with that aside, number 2 tip is please set realistic expectations early on in the relationship. I want to believe that people don't go into relationships now just for the fun of it. When you go into a relationship, you're hoping that it leads to marriage. So from the onset, please set realistic expectations of what you want from this relationship. It's already strained because you guys don't see each other. Communication, which I'll get to later, might be, a little unclear. So make sure you set realistic expectations. For example, if there's a time difference or a time barrier, what is the appropriate time to call each other? When I was in my long distance relationship, my husband was in Nigeria at the time. I was here in America. There was at least a window of time where I would expect his call. And I was always considerate of the fact that, okay, we have a time difference. So it's possible that one person would have to inconvenience the other person. And so to avoid that, we just set realistic expectations of when we could talk. I mean, it doesn't mean that we can't talk outside of those times. It's just, don't be calling me at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm sleeping because I have a life. But yeah, set realistic expectations of what you want. When do you want, him to call you? How often do you want him to call you? How often do you guys want to communicate? What method of communication is there? I mean, the good thing is we have good technology right now. We have WhatsApp. At the time, I think maybe BlackBerry. We had BlackBerry. I don't even think my husband even had a BlackBerry at the time. So, we was just basically just calling each other. But now there's text. There's so many other ways to communicate. So, but like I said, I'll get to communication later. But right now, just the second tip is just setting realistic expectations for your relationship. How long do you want to be in a long distance relationship for? What is the plan of this long distance relationship? So make sure that there are clear-cut explanations, there are clear-cut answers. Do not be left wondering, okay, so what's going to happen or not. Don't play anything by ear. It's a long distance relationship. You want to make sure that you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's as soon as you guys have established that relationship. So that's my number 2 tip. Number 3, be ready to put in more effort. I'll say it again. Be ready to put in more effort. Because this is a long distance relationship and because there is a barrier, you don't see each other often, you're just talking, maybe FaceTiming, please be ready to put in more effort. It's very easy. And I think that this is even a good thing, an advantage to having a long distance relationship is because then you have to, work towards making this thing work. Like I said, alongside the discipline is putting in more more effort, making sure that this is not a case where you guys are seeing each other. So if you're mad, oh well, you go to your place and then the next time you guys can resolve it when you see. This is we're talking on the phone, so it's going to require effort. If we have an argument, we're going to have to resolve it via the phone without seeing each other. So it just requires a lot more effort. It requires that you make sure that you're not leaving anything, hanging, or nothing is being strained because of the fact that there's a distance barrier. So please be ready to put in more effort if you're in a relationship. Like I said, comment down below. Have you been in a situation where you are in a long distance and I know that some people are like, absolutely, I cannot do this. I cannot do long distance. And it's understandable because it is a lot of work. But I've had people that have done it and successfully too. I mean, I've done it, so I know what I'm talking about. Just be ready to put in a lot more effort. Now, number 4, I think this one was what I had to learn really quickly. You have to be emotionally strong. Emotionally strong, okay? You have to be strong. Being in a long distance relationship, you have to make sure that your emotions are in check, because the relationship is already so strained because number 1, you guys are missing each other. You're wanting to be in the company of this person, and the only way you can do that, unfortunately, is just over the phone. You can't see each other. So please be emotionally strong. It's okay if your feelings, are hurt. Oh, I want to spend time with this person. Like I said before in my previous point, is make sure that you're setting realistic expectations, so you know that this is just a phase. This is something that's not going to last forever. You have to be emotionally strong because also you want to make sure that, whenever you are together, this person is not totally or completely the source of your joy. And that's why you have to be emotionally strong on your own. They're not the source of your joy. They're just adding to the joy that you have, which I'll probably do a video later on how to be emotionally sound before going into a marriage. And make sure that you have faith in the person that you're courting or dating, and make sure that you have a level of faith and trust for this person, because you're going to require that. You're not going to be checking over this person's shoulder. They're not in the same continent or the same country or the same city as you. So you have to take their word for it. If they tell you, I'm going to be at this place, you're sure that, you're emotionally strong enough to handle that. Okay, they're going to be at this place at this certain time. Or if they tell you, I'm going to be, you're just going to have to be strong or have a level of trust for this person so that it doesn't sever the relationship. And then that brings me to my final point, the 5th point, communication. Communication is the most important. I mean, in any relationship, in any marriage, communication is the most important. And for communication, especially with long distance, I always talk quality over quantity. So it's not the number of times that you guys communicate, it's the quality of the communication. So like I said, quality over quantity for communication. Make sure that every conversation that is being had, even within the time frame that you guys have, make sure that you're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's. In communication, I would, this is where I would advise, make sure that you're asking them the right questions, your do's and don'ts, what you can or cannot accept, or what you can or cannot deal with. This is where you guys are talking about everything and anything, because I hope that this relationship is leading to marriage for you. So communication, communicate over what you likes, your dislikes. If they're giving you hints about some things that you think that you're not gonna be able to deal with in the long run, in the future, or over the course of your marriage, then take their word for it. Because like I said, this is a long distance relationship, so you can't read their body language. You can, you probably can read it maybe if you FaceTime, but if you're just talking to this person, you're not able to determine based on their, based on what you're seeing physically. So you're just gonna have to take their word for it. So if they're telling you something that doesn't tally with what you believe in, that's when you want to set things straight as far as communication. So this brings me to the end of this video. Have you been in a long distance relationship before? Did it work out for you? Did it not? Like I said, I'm going on 9 years of marriage now, and throughout the course of our dating or courtship, it was long distance all through. It wasn't until we got married that we lived in the same place or in the same city. So it was tough, but it is very doable. You just have to make sure that, these tips that I've given to you are some things that you're following to make sure that you have a successful relationship. If you have any questions, you can reach me on Instagram, and I'll go ahead and follow up or answer your questions if you're currently in a long distance relationship, or you wish to get in a long distance relationship and you don't know what to look out for. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you found this content useful to you, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.